Hey y'all, it's Cassie with Radharc Ranch. We are going to move some, trying not to step on chickens. We are going to move the new chicks out here into the coop to get them integrated with the rest of this nosy flock. So I'm going to get the brooder box and put it in here. And then I'm going to move these birds down here, get them food and water, and then they'll be in the coop with them. I'm probably going to leave them in that brooder box for probably another 2 to 3 weeks because they're still small, but it's getting to the point that it's warm enough for them to be out here. And then that way the little chickens and the big birds can get used to each other before we just throw them all together, because you're supposed to integrate them slowly so that the big birds don't beat up the little birds, because chickens are mean, nasty velociraptors, and that should be a fact. Okay, so the brooder box is in here, which is just a box with chicken wire on the outside so that they can see through it, because the purpose of putting them out here is so that they can see each other and get used to each other and get used to each other's presence. That way they aren't trying to kill each other because it's like a new bird in their yard. You hear that? Velociraptor. That is all set up. I need to get the top for it, but we are going to go get food, water, and chickens and stick them in there in their new home. And then we can move our lavender Orpingtons over into the big brooder, and then they will go in there once the birds that we hatched go out. It's a whole rotation. It's super fun. Here they are in their happy new home, out in the coop with the big birds. We'll see how they do. So we do have a couple really cold nights coming, but not in the next week or so. And within the week, they should be completely feathered out. Our next step is we are going to be putting up the goat fence this weekend and hopefully finishing the top of that building. So all we have to do is cut those tall pieces off, take the tarp off, and lay the tin on it and screw all of that down. And then that building's done. I'd like to put a gutter on the back and start doing some rain collection to water the birds out of a bigger tub, like a 55-gallon drum like we do for the pigs, because it'll make it so much easier. Like the amount of chickens that we have, they drink a lot of water. And the game plan is to make them a little bit more sustainable, because we both have full-time jobs and we both are feeding and watering every day. It'll just make one less task for us, I guess. So I think the goats are going to go in this area, which that trailer is going to get moved, those pallets are going to get moved, but we're kind of going to leave these stumps here for them to play on. And then we're going to start that fence right off of this hog pen, which that's what we call our training pen. It has an electrical wire that runs along the inside of it, because when you get baby piglets, they have no idea how to use an electrical fence. Now, when I say baby piglets, I mean like 50-pounders. So this weekend, we're actually going to pick up the kids' show hogs, and we won't get our feeders for another couple weeks. But we'll be going to get the kids' show hogs, and they'll go right in there because they're 50 pounds or more. So when they go in there, that one electrical wire will be hot. So the panels are to keep them from getting through the fence if they so choose. But the electrical wire along the inside is to train them to how to use an electrical fence, which is how we have Missy in here. So Missy now has this entire paddock that goes from the training pen all the way up and around, and in that building is where she sleeps. So she is kept in literally by these two wires, and she wants absolutely nothing to do with them, because if she touches them, she will get shocked. And the thing of it is they only have to touch that wire once or twice until they're like, okay, I want nothing to do with that. And then they don't mess with it anymore, and they stay in the area that we want them in. Occasionally, like as they grow, we'll start it a little bit lower, and then as they grow, we'll raise that wire up, because you want it about nose height. Like when they're standing, you want it about nose height so that if they walk up to it, they can't reach over it and get bit. But although pigs, I heard this off of Joel Salatin, pigs are more likely to go under where a cow will go over. So that's why we have the 2 wires, one at nose height and one about chest high, so that they won't go under it. So anyway, I got a little sidetracked there. Back to the goats. So the goats are going to go in this area. They'll have the stumps to play on, but mostly they're going to clean up this area for us. Get rid of all these leaves and debris and really clean this up so that we're able to work it. The game plan for this area ultimately is we're going to move the fire pit over behind the house. And this is where our barn's going to sit, because currently we don't have a barn. We have built all of these structures from nothing, and we would like to be able to have a barn so that we can farrow in it and, you know, calve in it and things like that. So, and eventually my daughter would like a horse. Now, for now, we're probably going to be moving the goats around a little bit. We're going to set up temporary fence originally, just to kind of figure things out, because we don't have the barn built yet and we don't really know where we want things to go. So we've been building all of this from scratch and kind of just working our way through. The game plan is to move the goats, let them clean things up, see how far down into the woods we want to go, because right now we're probably only utilizing, including the fence that the cows are in, we're probably only using 6 acres of our property. And we're not actually using it all. It's just everything is spaced out. The kids still have plenty of room for the yard to ride around in their go-karts, things like that. But we're going to let the goats clean and the pigs clean some stuff up and see how far down into the woods we want to go. And then we're going to set up a permanent facility for them so that they'll have their own permanent goat yard. Then we're going to make sure, then we'll build the permanent structure for them, because I would like a barn or building that I can, you know, put them in, lock them in, have the stanchion in there, and get them used to milking and things like that. So that's the eventual game plan, but for now we're just kind of moving things around to see how we like it. Temporary fencing only. The only permanent fence that we did was the cow fence, and that is because we put that fence along our property line. So the very bottom of our property line is where the bottom of that cow fence comes up, and it comes up the property line and then just stays right below the fruit trees. So that's the only permanent fence that we have right now, well, aside from the training pen. And this is here because it's the easiest way to access from the driveway. Now that may change once the barn is built over here, because the barn will be accessed right off of the driveway. Right there's the fire pit. So you'll be able to drive right into the barn. So this training pen may eventually get moved. The building likely won't. Well, I'm going to say that the building won't, because I'm not moving it. But the fence may. Or maybe added to, so that they have a bigger space and everything can be kind of tied to it, so we can run the pigs into the building and out of the building and so on and so forth. So some things may change, but we're really just kind of trying to figure out how we want things and where we want things. So I know right now it kind of seems like everything's in the planning stage, and it feels like everything is just complete and total chaos here. We have a lot of animals. We have a lot of animals coming. We have a lot of new things starting. The pigs will be coming soon. The goats will be moving out. Currently they're in our garage, so they will be moving out into their pen hopefully this weekend. I will make sure that I get video of all of that. So I hope you guys stick around with us. I hope you learn with us. If you have any tips or advice for us of where we should put things or where we should not put things, leave us a comment. Let us know. If you've learned these things already, don't make us learn the hard way. And if you can learn from our mistakes, I hope that we can help you guys out. So thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you for learning with us, and we'll see you next time.